I used to be a film snob. And then I grew up. Or to quote Bob Dylan, I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. Music was always my first love. Me being a musician and being a music major in high school and college. But film was always a love as well, especially when I discovered 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I could argue that I will always include the Beatles in everything that I do and everything that I say. I will find an excuse to tie my love of cinema to the Beatles. I could say that if it wasn't for the Monkees, I wouldn't have rented Easy Rider. If it wasn't for the Beatles, there wouldn't be the Monkey Show. When I got into movies, when I started to watch film and hope to one day aspire to be a filmmaker myself in my younger days, as well as compose the music to my own films, I followed directors. I would read film books, film review books. Kubrick was my first love. Then Coppola. And then when I got into the movies of Martin Scorsese, well, that was it for me. That was it. And whenever I would read a specific title in a book, I would seek that title out. And eventually I got into Spielberg and realized the brilliance of Spielberg. Eventually I got into Italian cinema and I fell in love with Fellini and Antonioni. But as I got older, especially in my 20s, I wouldn't have been caught dead seeing a movie like Independence Day. You wouldn't catch me dead going to see Bad Boys. You wouldn't catch me seeing Armageddon. And as I've gotten older, I realize that I should have given those films a chance. True, it's not Francois Truffaut's Day for Night, which is my favorite Francois Truffaut film, but there's a lot of fun to them. You take a look at me nowadays, I am obsessed with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I loved the comics. I loved reading the comics back in the day and what they did, Kevin Feige, the producer, and the various filmmakers involved, how they were able to tie a story into all those individual films where you could appreciate them on an individual level, but watch it as this big epic story. That is amazing, and that is a big risk too, despite what my hero Martin Scorsese said a couple years ago. We won't get into that again. I was a bit snobbish. An ex-girlfriend of mine, who is now a friend of mine, once teased me back in the day when I was talking about watching a movie at her house one night. She made her hands into a mouth and went, "My name is Brian. My movies are masterpieces. My movies are classic cinema." I showed her Apocalypse Now, and at the end of the movie she's like, "That's it? He just killed the guy and that's it?" I said, "Well, yeah, but the journey that he goes through, I don't get it. How is that classic cinema, Brian?" You could say I've evolved. I have evolved. Since I love the blockbusters now, and I try to see them as much as I can, there are certain things I want from them. I want characters I care about, for one thing. Gotta care about the characters. No matter what type of movie it is, I have to love the characters. No matter how stupid the premise, make me believe the characters. And two, whatever visual effects you're going to show me during the 2 hours, 2.5 hours, or close to 3 hours that are on there, I better believe they're real. So a few years ago, I decided to buy Independence Day on 4K UHD disc. Never owned it in my entire life. I never owned it. Never really cared to own it. Sorry. But it came out on 4K UHD, and I said, let me buy it. And I decided to sit down and watch it after seeing pieces of it on cable and walking away. And before I watched it, I remembered my late band director from high school, who also became a personal friend of mine after I graduated, Mr. Paris. He started a community concert band in the 90s after he retired and I had graduated. And I remember my friend, after community concert band practice, rehearsal, my friend and Mr. Paris's partner, Mark, were talking about the new movie of Basquiat. Pronouncing his name wrong, I know. But, the movie about the artist. David Bowie makes a cameo in it. And they were really talking about the symbolism and the artistic this and artistic that. Very highbrow intellectual discussion they were having. And Mr. Paris finally rolled his eyes and went, "Why don't we talk about Independence Day? Now that's a great film." So I decided to watch Independence Day. Story is dumb. loud, and I had a damn good time watching it. And like everybody else, I make it a point now to watch it every 4th of July. Yes, the speech the president gives is hokey and cheesy, and I love it. It's brilliant. I love the camera shots. I don't care that Ebert gave it 2 stars. And I'm not a big Michael Bay fan, but I have a soft spot for The Rock and Armageddon. You know, I missed Armageddon back in the theaters back in the day when it came out. I was more about Saving Private Ryan that summer. Okay, see where I am? And disappointed that Saving Private Ryan was not being shown in the best theater in the Chicagoland area, which was the now defunct McClure Court Cinema, THX Theater, all that. Armageddon was being shown there. And I agree with Ebert's review. He gave it like 1.5 stars. He says it's loud. It's like a 2-hour trailer for an action film. And I agree with him. The dialogue is clunky. The story is really hokey. They don't send astronauts up into outer space. They send oilmen to drill for the meteor that's about to hit Earth. And you know what? When I watch the film, I have a damn good time watching it. I enjoy it. Somehow, I buy into it. I think The Rock is actually an all-around better film, but I buy into it. You know? And now, 20 years ago, I would have never admitted I liked Armageddon. And I have to quote, Siskel on the Siskel and Ebert episode. Ebert gave it thumbs down. Siskel gave it thumbs up. He goes to Ebert, Rod, you're right. It's loud, it's obnoxious, it's stupid, it's cheesy, it's hokey, and you know what? I had a great time. And yeah, I had a great time. The last film I saw in the movies last year at the Dolby Cinema before the shutdown happened was Bad Boys for Life. I think it's the best Bad Boys film too because there was some real drama in that one. Some real danger that happened in that one. But I wanted to see a film that was going to be on a big, large format screen in Dolby Atmos sound to just get me away from whatever issues were happening in the world. Is it Lawrence of Arabia? No. But it was a hell of a good action film. A hell of a good action film. So, my palate, my tastes have, I can't say they've changed, but they've evolved. And I'm happy they have evolved. You want me to watch a popcorn film? Well, you got to give me characters I care about. You got to give me great action. And you have to give me special effects that during the 2 hours I'm watching the movie, I don't act like I'm watching visual effects. You know a movie I just watched? Another Roland Emmerich film, like Independence Day. I just watched 2012. Critics savaged it when it came out. Gave me everything I wanted in a disaster film. And the new 4K disc has excellent Dolby Atmos sound, so highly recommended. So that's my thoughts. Give me some of your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to you soon.